Hello everyone and welcome to our Embodied Movement Yoga Flow class. Today I would like to explore dynamic hip movement, some hip fluidity to move towards Trikonasana, which is a very technical pose. Let's have a look at how to approach it, embodying the asana, experiencing the pose. Let's begin by sitting onto our heels, take the skin of the buttocks back and the skin of the knees forward. Let's press the hands into the floor, lengthen the spine, and then gently move into a balasana position. And allow the belly to rest on the legs and the forehead to move towards the floor. Feel free to place a block under the forehead if you do not reach. Keep the elbows extended for now to give a sense of activity in the mind. Inhale into the lumbar spine. Press into the feet, exhale, find your angry cat pose. Anteriorly tilt the pelvis, take the buttocks up, open the belly towards the floor. And exhale, sit back again. Let's continue with these movements for a few rounds. Inhale, stay still. The exhalation brings me up into my angry cat. The inhalation lifts the buttocks up. And the exhalation brings me back down. One more cycle. And hold your angry cat pose. The hands are pressing into the floor. The sternum is coming in. The scapula move away from each other, and this is giving space into the back body. Let's take a few deep breaths into the back ribs. I'm energizing, taking deep breath, the back body. I'm becoming aware of that space. Anteriorly tilt the pelvis and expose the front body. And let's just stay here. Let's take a few deep breaths into the belly. And the sternum. From here, tuck the toes under, press the hands forward and find your first downward facing dog. Straighten up the legs. Keep pressing the hands forward as if you wanted to take the buttocks away from the body. Keep the elbows straight to lengthen the side ribs. Take a couple of deep breaths into the side ribs. And when you exhale, press the inner portion of the hands. First, second, and third metacarpal are pressing and the hips are moving away from the body. Allow the head to hang like a fruit would hang from a tree. Lift the heels up, keep the armpits open towards the knees, and gently bend and extend the legs. Let's warm up gently the knees, the back of the legs. Keep the legs straight, posteriorly tilt the pelvis and roll the spine into a wave chaturanga. Anteriorly tilt the pelvis and roll the spine back into an extension, gentle extension. Lift the heels, posteriorly tilt, there is a flexion, and then anteriorly tilt, and the spine goes into a gentle flat extension. In fact, this chaturanga is actually requiring a gentle flexion in the spine to maintain strength and connection, and downward dog is a gentle extension of the spine by disconnecting the pubic bone and the sternum. One more time. And anteriorly tilt. Lift the heels up, take the right knee to the chest, step the right foot in between the hands, and straighten up the right leg. I'm stepping the left foot gently out in a 30 degrees angle to find my Paschimottanasana. I'm pressing the feet in opposite directions so that I'm grounding the legs. Press the hands into the floor, gently lift the chest up, bend the elbows, exhale. Allow the body to be where it is at this moment in time. Let's not go over by overly pushing. Let's move with the breath. Exhalation finds the flexion. Inhalation invites an opening of the chest. The left heel is pressing into the ground, and the right hip is pushing back. Look forward with the chest. Now, let's have a look at something that's going to become important for Trikonasana. I'm pressing the heels away from each other, and I'm pushing the right hip back. When the right hip is pushing back, what happens? The external portion of the right foot is going to go down to the ground. So to compensate, I need to press the mount of the big toe into the ground. Let's keep this in mind. We're going to find it again. Let's see. Press the right hip back. The right femur is coming in, and the outer edge of the right foot now is going down. The inner edge is lifting. To compensate, I'm pressing the inner foot. And release, bend and extend the right leg. And downward facing dog. Back of the head moves down. Let's observe the difference in between the right and the left leg. Lift the heels up, left knee to the chest, and let's step the left foot in between the hands. Straighten up the left leg and step the right foot out 30 degrees, 45 degrees. I'm staying with the chest gently lifted to connect the feet. They press in opposite directions. This is giving integrity to the legs, and from this integrity, the hands move the spine, which remains soft. And it's receiving the movement from the arms, stabilized by the legs. If I inhale, I'm opening the chest up, and when I exhale, I'm looking for depth. When I inhale, I'm opening the belly, and when I exhale, I'm using the opening to find this flexion. A couple more times to allow these hamstrings to become soft. Now we're going to hold the position, and I'm pressing the heels in opposite directions. My right quadricep is strong, and the right patella is lifting up, giving integrity to the back leg. My belly button is facing down towards the floor, and my hips now are facing down as well. My left femur is coming back. My left buttock is pushing to the back wall. When this is happening, there is an external rotation into the left femur, which is translated into the left foot, the outer edge pressing down. So to compensate, I'm pressing the mount of the left foot. Here you go, the first metatarsal is pressing, and I'm feeling this connection, yeah? Left hip moving down and back, and this big toe pressing into the floor. And from here, raise the right heel, bend and extend the left knee, and downward facing dog. Back of the head down. And from here, come back onto your knees. Lift the chest up. And I'm gonna face you for the next type of movements. I'm stepping my right leg out, and we're gonna find 3 movements. Hip fluidity in external, hip fluidity in medial rotation, and then side body opening. I'm stepping my right heel into a Parigasana position, gently away from the right knee. Arms in line with the shoulders, and let's begin by gently sinking in and out. The belly button is facing the right knee. The knee is in line with the second toe. The head is in line with the sacrum. I'm not back here, I'm not forward here. I'm staying back throughout the movement. And now I'm beginning to swing the left arm forward and back. And this is my movement number 1, creating space into the right inner groin. My movement number 2 is happening now. I'm straightening up the right leg and like a half moon, taking this left arm over the head. And again, sink in and open into this half moon. Let's gradually find depth, as if we were knocking onto a door instead of just barging in. We're being respectful towards the body when we practice. So now we have hip opening and side body lengthening. One more time. Let's introduce our third movement, which is a medial rotation of the femur. I'm sinking in and I'm taking my right knee to the left. Hips move back, sternum come in, and I'm closing into a sort of Garudasana, Gomukhasana composition. Open up, sink in, open the side body, sink in, knee to knee, and connect the sternum to the pubic bone, posteriorly tilt. Come back up, head in line with the sacrum, side body fluidity. Head in line with the sacrum, knee to knee, posteriorly tilt, the scapula move away from each other. And let's continue a few more times in your own rhythm. Let's keep the knee towards the knee, the right knee towards the left, and from here, let's just bounce as if we were floating on water. Lift up, take the right leg, sit back, and let's just rest for a second. Let's give time to the nervous system to make sense of what we just did. I can sense the left side longer than the right. I can sense the right femur, that it's warm and loose. I can sense the knees, the shoulders, and I'm allowing the heart rate to come back to balance. When I'm ready, I'm lifting up, arms alongside the shoulders in Vimanasana, and I'm stepping my left foot out. My left foot is in line with the right knee. My left knee is in line with the second toe. My belly button is facing the left knee. I'm stepping the left foot gently out to allow for a deeper flexion. When I'm performing is not the right word, when I'm embodying these movements, I'm looking for the left heel to take the body weight and bring me back up. So I'm looking for the left heel to activate, and the knee wants to be in line with that second toe. It's fundamental also for the Trikonasana that we're going to see. The right arm begins to move and come back. Let's make sure that your head stays back in line with the sacrum. And let's add our side body opening. Straighten up the left leg, right arm over the head, and lengthen the right side. Come back into the left hip and open the right side. Allow the sternum to go where the spine is leading it. In this case, sternum to the right, to the left knee. And now let's begin to add the medial rotation of the left leg, knee to knee, sink back with the hips, take the scapulae away from each other and towards the ears, and spring back up into the left knee, open the right side into the left knee, connect the knees, sink, sternum comes in, and let's continue. The body is pulsating, expanding and contracting. One more time. And let's hold the knee towards the knee. And sink, sink, gently sink. And come back up. And let's take a rest. I like to do the who breathing in certain situations, which is our inhalation through the nose and gently exhale through the mouth, as if you were blowing the air to turn off the light of a candle. So we are spouting the lips. And this gives some rest to the nervous system, activating the vagus nerve. Let's have a look at Parigasana one more time. My right heel is in line with the left knee, but before I'm doing anything, I'm taking my arms alongside the shoulders. I would like to show you from this side, and I'm leaning backward and up. When I lean back, I'm pressing into that left foot. Can you see when I go back, the left leg is activating, when I go forward is disconnecting. One more time, stay back, activate, hold it, sense the left quadricep that is working, and come up. Hands on the hips. Now have a look at my right knee. When the belly button goes forward, away from the knee, what happens? The knee is following. When I go with the belly button towards the right knee, what happens? The knee goes back in line. So I can try to move the belly button away and keep the knee in line with the second toe, but this is my limit. When I go further, what happens? The knee is collapsing, and this is creating damage into this structure. We don't want to damage the knee by taking it out of its natural alignment. So the belly button needs to face gently the right leg. Arms alongside the shoulders, and now that you have seen these, I'm using these two alignments, belly button towards the right leg, lean back, press into the left leg, right arm up, right shoulder towards the ear, inhale into the right lung, exhale, connect the right elbow onto the knee. Take the right hand down and catch the right tibia. I'm pressing the right elbow against the knee and I'm taking the sternum up to the ceiling. Connect the pubic bone to the navel. There's a gentle posterior tilt here. And now from here, I'm taking the left arm over the head. When I posteriorly tilt the pelvis, I'm connecting the left knee into the ground. And then I'm lifting my left shoulder up to the ear. And I'm creating two directions, opening the left side of the body. Now I'm allowing the right knee to sink in. Press into the right heel and draw the right femur gently back. So you have a third force opening into the side. Lift the left arm up and rotation, circumduction, pardon me, two. And the third circumduction is lifting me. Take the right knee down, left foot out. Keep the hands inside into the front of your body, lean back. Activate the right quadricep. Couple more times. And I'm here, I'm activating the quadricep. Why am I doing this movement going back? To avoid leaning forward. I'll show you from the side. Because often when we do this posture, we lose the alignment of head in line with the sacrum. This is a fundamental alignment, and we're here. And look at my flexion of the chest. This does not allow me to be as open as I am here, and I'm losing the benefits of the opening of the side body. So I'm leaning back gently to invite opening into the front body, head in line with the sacrum. My belly button is facing gently towards the left so that my knee stays in line with the toe. Lift the left arm up, shoulder to the ear so that the left lung is receiving opening before closing, and exhale, left elbow down, right arm up, palm facing down. And what happens when I straighten up? What happens to the chest? It's going up to the ceiling, and this is a derotation that I'm looking for in a Trikonasana Parshvakonasana dynamic. Posteriorly tilt the pelvis, connect the pubic bone to the sternum, take the body weight gently back, and take the head in line with the sacrum, and now tricep over the head. Lift the toes of the left foot up, press into the left heel, and draw the left femur gently into the body. And keep spreading that right side. Right arm goes up and down into first circumduction, second, and windmill yourself up and rest. For our third dynamic of hip opening and strengthening, because we're looking at both sides, I'm taking a block and I'm going to sit into Sukhasana at the center of the mat. Sukhasana is my comfortable seated posture. I'm taking the skin of the buttocks back. Now I have my right leg in front of the left. There is technique to sit as well, but for now let's just sit however we feel like. When we have this position, we are going to target the glutes into an eccentric contraction. This means that we're going to lengthen and at the same time strengthen them. If you have a heavy block, it would be much better than a foam one, but we do with what we have. Even a book would be okay. Now straighten up the arms and take the shoulders up to the ears and gently come down and then spring back up. So we are slowing down the lowering phase when we do eccentric work and spring back up. Gently down, keep the sternum open, and back up. Since I'm targeting my Trikonasana, I'm trying to strengthen and mobilize the glutes. So those muscles that do external rotation, my gluteus maximus and the 6 deep external rotators. I'm activating and freeing space. One more time, and let's hold it 45 degrees. Reach the furthest point. Go as far as you can with this block. And down if you can a little more. And come back up and take a little rest. Let's draw a circle with the sternum over the hips. See how the legs are still, they're fixed into this Sukhasana, change direction, and the movement is coming from the hips. So the head of the femur, which is received in the acetabulum, is kept mobile and fluid by these chest circles. I can visualize and feel that. And lift the legs up, change the crossing of the legs. Move the skin of the buttocks back one more time for an anterior tilt. I'm trying to think of the space that is in between the pubic bone and the sternum, and I'm trying to open it as much as I can. And this is giving me possibility to open the glutes. Raise the arms up, shoulders to the ears, lengthen the side ribs, gently come down, and spring up, inhale. I'm exhaling, slowing the lowering phase, and up. Slowing down, this is essential. I'm resisting the force of gravity, I'm strengthening while I'm lengthening. And I'm back up. This piriformis is receiving this work, this possibility of opening gluteus medius, tensor fasciae latae, gluteus minimus, all these muscle groups, they're working. And up one more time, I'm holding the position 45 degrees, reach the furthest point as far as you can. See how the belly is opening and the lumbar spine is lengthening. And a little bit down, again, isometric contraction. You know, there's a study that shows that isometric contraction increases neuromuscular connection. And we'll come up and let go. And again, circles with the sternum over the knees. This right balance, this balancing between the yin and the yang, the activity, and then the passive portion part of the practice. And change direction. Be free to be as fluid as you feel like. Allow the head to move. The head is following the rest of the body. I'm visualizing the hips moving on top of the heads of the femurs. And let's take a rest here. For the next movement, I would like to stand up and have a block. In this next movement, I'm going to explore something that is called hip hiking. So when we go on a hike in the mountain, our hips are actually doing this movement as well. So this is a fundamental movement that we find also in Trikonasana. And let's use a block to raise one foot off the ground, and then we're straightening up the right knee and leveling the feet. So while I'm leveling the feet, keep the arms alongside the shoulders for balance. Look, I'm taking my left foot down, but my right knee is straight, and then I'm lifting it back up. When I take the foot down, my right hip is lifting and my left hip is going down. And when I lift it up, the hips are leveling. I'm using my fingers to show you what happens into the hips. They're leveling up when I'm lifting, and right is shortening, left is lengthening. Let's do this movement a few times. Make sure that the right knee is locked. It's straight. Movement is not happening in the knees. Movement is not happening in the ankles. It's happening up here at the hips. And rest. We change side. This hip hiking is exactly what we're looking for in a Trikonasana dynamic. Let's begin. Feel free to pause the class and to experience the movement as long as you need. This is fundamental. This is the key to understand all the side bending asana like Parigasana, Trikonasana, Parshvakonasana, Parivritta Janusirsasana. All these asana, they are understood by this hip hiking movement. One more time. And take the block away. Let's keep it back here because we're going to use it for Trikonasana soon enough. Let's try to do the same movement but without the blocks. I'm bending the right knee, keeping the left straight. One hip is shortening, one is lengthening. And let's try these again. It seems simple, and it actually is, but sometimes we're not accustomed to do something, and then our body loses it, kinds of forget it. So let's try to get in touch again with this really important movement. Just a few more times. Sense what happens at the hips and stay at the center. Okay, now we're ready to have a look at Trikonasana. I'm stepping my feet out the side into Utthita Astapadasana, and I can do it by bending the knees, keep the hands on the chest. You can jump or you can step the feet out. I like to jump and keep the arms alongside the shoulders. I'm taking the block and I take it on the side of the right foot. So when I'm stepping my foot out, keep the hands onto the hips and have a look at what happens to the belly button. Step the right foot out and take the right heel in, so that the right heel is in line with the left foot medial arch. And look at the belly button, what it did. Now I'm stepping the right foot again towards the front. When I take it to the side, look at the belly button is following, okay? Why? Because if I take the belly button again to the center, there's going to be a rotation happening in the knee, damaging my knee. So Trikonasana requires a belly button facing forward to accommodate the external rotation of the externally rotated leg. It says it. Keep the arms alongside the shoulders, and now remember what we just did, the hiking. Allow the right hip to hike down and push it back up. Sink it in and out. You can have the hands on the hips as well. Allow the hip to sink and push it back. The femur is coming in and I'm pushing it out. Right femur in and out. One more time. Now let's stay into your static position. I'm preparing the block. I would like to keep it a little higher to start with. My head is in line with the sacrum, arms alongside the shoulders. Right arm comes up, inhale, and now the right hip is coming in and my head stays back in line with the sacrum. I'm pressing my feet away from each other and the chest is free to move, and gently my right hand is going down while my left arm is moving up. The heels, they are the most important part because they're stabilizing your posture. The left leg is what we forget because we don't see it. So I'm making sure that the outer edge of the left foot is pressing down, the inner edge is coming up. I'm keeping my left hand on the hip for now, just so that I can understand technique. With the feet pressing away from each other, I'm taking the back ribs in and I'm opening the sternum and I'm leaning back. Remember before in Parigasana, lean back and keep the head in line with the sacrum. Now I'm pressing my right hand into the block and the sternum is going up to the ceiling. Look at what happens. I'm taking the right femur into the body, hike like before, I'm taking it deeper, I'm contracting the right side, and now I can take the block much lower because I'm taking the right femur in and I'm contracting the right. See? Now my head is in line with the sacrum and I found depth. I could even put my hand on the floor, but I'm not going to do it for now. I'm taking the right femur in an external rotation, and what happens? The body weight is on the outer edge of the right foot. So I'm pressing the mount of the big toe of the right leg. Yes, I'm pressing the right mount of the big toe. And from here, left arm moves up, press the right hand, de-rotate the chest, and now I can sense from the feet, the left quadricep is strong, the right heel is pressing forward, the right mount of the big toe is pressing into the ground, the right knee is lifting up, right femur rotating externally, gentle posterior tilt in the pelvic area, head back in line with the sacrum, right hand pressing down. You can look up to the ceiling or look down to the block. I'm allowing the left arm to come down and I'm gonna circumduct to come back up and out. Bend the right knee and back to the center. Left foot is coming out. How does it come out? Remember, out 45 degrees and then take the left heel in line with the right foot medial arch. I'm taking the block into my first stance, actually third stance, the highest one. Keep the arms in line with the shoulders. And let's take them here onto the hips. I'm stepping the left foot from out to in to sense one more time how the belly button is following the left foot. This is called a coupled movement. So when one part of the body is inviting a second part of the body to follow. And now the belly button is staying out, and now I'm hiking the left hip up and down. Hike. This left femur is coming in, the right hip is moving out. One more time. And stay into your neutral position. I'm feeling the hips gently moving towards the left, and my sternum is actually staying to the center, and that's a derotation already. Left arm up, left shoulder to the ear. Now sink into the left hip. Keep the head in line with the sacrum. Keep opening the chest, and gently bend from the left femur coming in, and the left hand is resting on the block. Right hand on the hip for now. The mind forgets what it does not see. So I'm connecting to the right heel first. The right outer edge of the foot is pressing. Lift the inner edge of the right foot. Right quadricep is strengthening, and now is lifting the kneecap up, and now this leg is engaged. Now continue to contract the left side of the body and continue to draw the left femur in. What happens? It's bending, and then I'm finding a second position on the block. Now I have a deeper Trikonasana. The left heel is pressing forward, the right heel is pressing back. The left femur is rotating externally, but the mount of the big toe of the left foot is pressing into the ground, and I find stability. Left quadricep is engaging to give stability to the knee. My left hand is pressing into the floor, and my chest is derotating as a consequence. I'm finding a small posterior tilt, very gentle posterior tilt in the hips, because that invites an external rotation of the femurs, and also it invites me to open up the spine. I can look up, or I can look down to rest the neck. The right arm is circumducting, 1, 2, and the third one is lifting me up. I'm bending the knee, looking forward. I can step or jump to the center and sense the work that I've just done around the hips. And this was our technical exploration of Trikonasana. Let's have a look to finish off the class at technical exploration of Parigasana. So I'm sitting with my legs straight, and I'm turning my right leg into Triamukha Ekapada. Move the skin of the right calf out, sit close to the right heel. Take the left leg out to the side, and let's place a block. So I'm having a 90 degrees angle for here, and then I'm pressing the heel on top of the block. Why not? It's giving it height, and it's going to help me when I'm going down to look for that foot. I am pressing the left heel and the right knee away from each other. I'm trying to open this area as much as I can. I'm lifting the arms up, and I'm catching with my left hand, I'm catching my right wrist. Lift the shoulder up to the right ear and expand that right lung, and gently come down, gently move down. Let go of the right arm in midair, connect to the left foot into the inner portion of the left foot, and then continue, and if you can, catch the outside of the foot. Let go of the left hand, move it forward, and find Parigasana from here. Again, I'm pressing my right knee and my left heel away from each other. My right hip, my right buttock is moving down to the floor. And now I'm drawing the left femur into the body, and I'm shortening the left side of the body like I was doing in that Trikonasana. Remember the hiking, I'm taking the left femur into the body, draw it in, and contract the left oblique muscle. Now the left elbow is going to the ceiling, the right elbow is going back to the wall behind me. Take the body weight back to spread the chest and the head in line with the sacrum. Allow the right shoulder to come to the right ear. Lift up, inhale, and rest. And let's come back to the center. Now I would like to have a look at it. A Mandukasana position. I'm sitting when I'm transitioning between these two asanas. I could have done it before, but it just came to mind and I want to have a look at it very quickly. I'm sitting with my buttocks onto the heels, or I'm sitting with the buttocks onto the floor if I can. And I'm opening the skin of the knees out. And I'm taking the knees out. And this is another variation of Mandukasana. Notice how the femurs are exactly like in Parigasana. It's a deep inner groin opening. And I'm keeping an anterior tilt to open the chest and gently posteriorly tilt to close the chest. So once again, the femurs have this position and the hips are moving on the heads of the femur. Move gently and then find a little bit more of range of motion. Keep an anterior tilt, raise both arms up. My right hand is catching my left shoulder. My left hand is catching my right shoulder. I'm keeping the elbows away from the back of the head. And I'm going into an anterior tilt and I'm spreading the chest forward. Breathe into the side ribs and the sternum. Let go of the arms and change the interlock. Left hand catches the right hand catches the left shoulder. Keep the elbows moving to the back wall. Sense what happens when you take the elbows back. The ribs are pushing into the back body and the sternum is spreading. The sternum is moving up towards the chin. The pubic bone is moving away from the sternum down to the floor and the belly is opening. This is a back extension. And relax. And now let's come out of the pose. So we have given this impression to the hips of wanting to spread forward. We should have done it before. It just came to mind and it felt right at this moment in time. Bend the left knee. Take the skin of the left calf out. And let's take the block out to the side. Let's fix actually the foot first. Because I can have a 90 degrees angle. And actually that's what I'm looking for. But then I'm lifting it up and I'm closing gently. Because yes, opening is important, but it's not everything. So yeah, I move gently the foot in, why not? Or you do it however you feel like. You can open and stretch to the maximum. Keep the knee pushing away from the heel and vice versa. Keep the inner groin spreading. Yeah, better. Raise the arms up like we just saw, and when you raise the arms, keep the same imprint as before. The back ribs come in, the sternum is opening. The right hand is catching the left head, the left wrist, lift the left shoulder up, and now draw the right femur into the body when you sink, like in Trikonasana, sink in. Contract the right side of the body. Remember that when I was sinking in before, my hand was going lower. That's because I'm finding space by drawing the femur in, by contracting the right side. And now lift the left shoulder. And now come and catch the inner side of the right foot, and the left hand catches the outer side of the right. Let go of the right hand, walk the right hand forward, and then come back and catch the foot. The left buttocks wants to lift up. Why not? I'm lifting it up for now. Draw the right femur in and then take the left buttocks down. So you allow it to lift for a second just to draw the right femur in and then drop it back down. Now the left elbow is moving to the back wall and the right elbow is moving up to the ceiling. The back ribs come into the body and the head is going in line with the sacrum. Gently lean back with the body weight. Keep pressing knee and foot away from each other. Keep opening the groins and keep leaning back. Straighten up the right quadricep, the right knee, by lifting the kneecap up. Press the right heel forward and try to feel dorsiflexion in the foot. Exhale, look down. Inhalation brings me up. Okay. And then from here, I'm letting go of this knee flexion. And I am gonna conclude with a gentle back extension, a very gentle bridge, and then a Shavasana. And that will be the end of my practice today. I'm going to leave you here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for supporting me through this journey. I appreciate every one of you. Arrivederci. See you soon again for another class. Thank you.